Welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute. I disappeared for a second there. If you're new here, hello, my name's Tay. If you're not new here, hello, good to see you again. I am here today to do my reading recap for March and April. First of all, where did those months go? How is it May already? I don't understand. Don't know where the time's gone, but we're here. We're somehow nearly halfway through 2026. Crazy. Absolutely insane. So here I am, another video. It is my reading recap for March and April. And I'm going to try and make this quick. I'm going to try and be snappy about it today. I listened to a lot of audiobooks, didn't read a lot of physical books. So let's get started. Okay. So just some statistics for you in terms of how many audiobooks I listened to throughout March and April. In March, I listened to 96 hours and 21 minutes. That was like, it didn't feel like it, but I ate these audiobooks up. April was 33 hours and 10 minutes of audiobooks. And then I also read 3.5 physical books. And let's get started. I'm going to start with the audiobooks because obviously, as you can tell, I listened to a lot. 124 hours of it was one book series, and it's the series that I mentioned in my last reading recap for my January-February, which was the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I started listening to the first 2 audiobooks in February, and then I continued to continue the series and listen to 96 hours in March, and then 27 hours plus minutes here and there throughout April. Those books were Dungeon Crawler Carl number 3, which is the Dungeon Anarchists Cookbook. Number 4, which is The Gate of the Feral Gods. Number 5 was The Butcher's Masquerade. Number 6 was The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. And number 7 was This Inevitable Ruin. I think this may be my favorite book series of all time. I am going to read the actual physical copies of the books, but listening to them as an audiobook is so phenomenal. I had previously said that the audio narrator is so talented and he sounds like a full cast. Not every part of it has sound effects, but there are, in key moments of the books, there are sound effects that get added. Sometimes there's music. They'll do voice changes for there's like an AI character and they sort of do like a robotic voice changer for the voice actor, unless it's like just his actual voice and he can make his voice sound like a robot. That'd be kind of crazy. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe he can, I don't know. But anyway, phenomenal. If I could just get one person to read and or listen to the Dungeon Crawler Carl book series, I will be happy, because I need one other person to experience the joy and the greatness that I did. Like, I will genuinely be laughing out loud. I'll shed tears. I'll be like walking my dog and like gasping, like hand over mouth gasping. It's insane. Like, it is so good. I don't listen to these in 2x speed. I listen to them as narrated because it is done so well. It's like I'm listening to a movie or a TV show. I don't know. I used to speed up audiobooks because I'd be like, I just want to know what happens. But this is narrated in such a way that I'm happy with the suspense. Like, oh, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. So please, I beg of you, if you are even like the easiest bit interested in checking out that series, please, I really recommend it. Like, the physical copies of those books are so expensive, but you best believe I will be dropping, like, I think one of the hardcovers for like one of the books later in the series was like $50. Like, so expensive, but you best believe I will be getting the completed hardcover set, and I will be rereading the physical copies. Matt Dinnerman is an incredible author. It made me want to read more lit RPG, but there's so much out there in the lit RPG genre that I didn't know where to start. And I think I started with something so incredible that I could potentially get disappointed in other ones. So if you do have a recommendation out there for a lit RPG book, please, please, please send them my way. I'm obsessed. I did listen to one other audiobook after all of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. It was a non-fiction book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The little blurb on the front of the book is conquer your hidden fear and take life to the next level. I'd been recommended this book by my friend Alicia so many times. She was like, have you read The Big Leap yet? Have you read The Big Leap yet? And they have it on Spotify, and I think it's like a 5.5 hour long audiobook. I listened to it. I feel like I need to read the physical copy of books like that, those nonfiction like self-help books, because listening to them can, like, I don't pick up everything, I think. So I feel like I need to read them and take notes in those types of books, so I really pick everything up. But I did really like it. If you're wanting self-help book recommendations, let me know. I've got a few on my TBR. Maybe I can read all of those and see which ones I recommend. This one was good. It's sort of teaching you about your upper limit, but it's sort of how you reach a point in your life where you start to self-sabotage and you can't make it to the next level because you're self-sabotaging, which was really interesting to me because I definitely self-sabotage a bit. Long story short, fantastic book if you're wanting a little something different. Now, into the actual physical books that I read, I think I read 2 of them in March, 2 of them in April. The first one that I read was And Now Back to You by BK Borison. I did have a vlog of me reading this book. It's edited. I was just going to add some music, and then I ended up getting severe gastro and ended up in hospital because of it. So that vlog it's never going to get uploaded. The existence of me reading this book and my initial thoughts on it are lost on a hard drive that will never be seen again. Now, by memory, I did really like this book. Again, I think I gave it like 3.5 stars, 3 stars maybe. The way I do a star value for a romance book as opposed to a series is really different, because I feel like a romance book, I've mentioned it before, you don't have a lot of words to do character development, and I think character development is one of my favorite things, and I love exploring nuances in people. But I did really like Jackson and Delilah. It was really sweet. It was a fun little read. I recommend it. Was it going to win a literary award? Probably not. But I had fun and I enjoyed it. And there was I remember there being a couple things that I didn't super like about it, but I don't remember what it was. I'm so sorry. I don't remember what it was. Potentially miscommunication and just not just saying what you're feeling, but also, I don't know. I remember there being frustration, but it was not too big a deal. So we'll leave it at that. The other book that I read in March was The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. Phenomenal. I actually love this book. I think I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. 4 stars in my romance genre category, comparatively to, maybe I'd say 3.5 too. I don't know. I just it's Diana Dixon and then Shane, who is a hockey player on the college team. And I thought it was fun, silly, goofy. He becomes a ballroom dancer for her, which I think is phenomenal. And it helps his hockey game. His coach is like, wow, how did you get this good over summer? And he's like, I learned how to ballroom dance. It's so much fun. Silly, goofy. 3.5, 4 stars. Now, to keep on that, same author, same series, I started reading The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. To be fair, I was halfway through it when I was sick. I'm still halfway through it. So I put it down and I just didn't pick it back up. I don't really like the main characters so much. Her name's Charlie. Charlotte is her full name. And then there's Will and Beckett. It's like a poly relationship, I think. But also not, I don't know. They have lots of feelings about it, and I don't know. But again, that's generally not really my thing, but mainly Charlie just bothers me. She's just she'll do something and then she'll just run away. She'll just run away from everything, which maybe I can relate, because maybe I do the same thing. It's realistic. Do I want to read about it? Yeah. If it's a good story, it's a plot device. Plot devices are a good thing. But again, I put it down and I didn't pick it back up. I will finish it because I still haven't read Love Song, because I was trying to get through this to read Love Song, which came out in March by Elle Kennedy. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I love something a little spooky. Horror movies, scary podcasts, scary stories, ghost stories. I'll watch YouTube ghost hunters. I'll listen to podcasters talk about their spooky little things. I'll listen to people reading the scary Reddit stories. I love ghost stories, okay? I have my own ghost stories. Spooky. I've had some spooky experiences happen to me. And I also, thanks to my father, had watched a lot of horror movies by the time I was 8 years old. I think at one point we'd run out of horror movies to watch in the video store because we used to go to his like every second weekend, me and my sisters. I don't know how often it was. It feels like maybe it was every second weekend, maybe it was less. And again, maybe he just ran out of horror movies, but I feel like I've seen a good chunk of them. And we would get 3 horror movies and a chick flick. And we would sit down, and again, I'm 7 to 8 years old during this time period. I love horror movies to this day. Like, this didn't traumatize me. Did it affect me mentally? Probably, but we'll move past that. We would watch the 2 to 3 horror movies that we got out, and then my dad would go to bed, and then me and my sisters would stay up and watch the chick flick because in order to sleep, we wanted to have something to like palate cleanser before we would go to sleep. And honestly, those chick flicks, definitely not 7 to 8 year old appropriate either. I think one of those times it was American Pie. So it wasn't even a chick flick, it was American Pie. So thanks to my father, I have a very big knowledge of horror movies. And the only horror movie that I didn't actually sit through was Hostel, because like, give me spooky ghosts, but murderous people kind of gave me the creeps. Honestly, I'm more scared of people than I am of ghosts, and I've had some ghosty experiences. But anyway, back to the book. Oh, this is Ghosted by Amy Hutton. She is a psychic. Her name is Holly. And then his name is Callum, and he is a paranormal podcaster and investigator. He makes YouTube videos and goes in and like does, you know, the YouTube thing. Like the stuff that I watch, right? They were friends, went on a date, and then she overheard him being an asshole, or someone being an asshole and him not standing up for her, and then she ghosted him and didn't talk to him for like 2 years. And then he reaches out because he needs her help on a ghost hunting case, because what she does for work is she uses her psychic powers to go into people's haunted homes and make ghosts disappear. On paper, the premise of this is so up my alley. I gave it 1 star. And I feel like the 1 star for me it should be like half a star. She pissed me off so bad. Like, how can you be so stupid and so annoying? And it was just really, like, the characters were really inconsistent of like what they would and wouldn't do, and where they stood with each other, and where they stood with themselves, and what they do for their jobs, and blah, 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 blah. All I could think was, it feels like it was written with it being picked up for a TV show or a movie in mind. I feel like there was specific, like, here's an episode, here's an episode, here's an episode, here's the ending, and you kind of like, it's wrapped up in case a season 2 doesn't happen, but here's a little thread of potential if a season 2 does happen. And then I get to about the author, and she is a TV producer, so she works in TV. And I think that's really disappointing to read in a book. I don't think we should write books with the idea of a TV show in mind, because they're different things. Like, I don't want to finish a book and be like, ooh, is there gonna be more? I don't know, piss me off. And I'm really sad because she is an Australian author. I think she's from Sydney, I don't know. I wanted to love it. I just really hated the characters. It was written, there was also spelling mistakes. And it's like it's not an independent published book. It's published by Atria Books, an imprint of Simon & Schuster, Australia. There were like spelling mistakes. And again, that bothers me so much, because how is there a spelling mistake? How many times I understand an author not picking up a spelling mistake because they know what's supposed to be written there, and then their brain can gloss over it. How does an editor not pick that up? I just was so disappointed, and I wanted to love it. So if there are any good ghosty books out there, please let me know. I've read some bad ones in the past. One that I did read, and again, I read this when I was a teenager, so it might not live up to it, was the first book's called The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. It's the Shades of London trilogy. That was done well. I loved how they did the ghosts in that, but the ghosts were evil. It's like the first book is like a Jack the Ripper retelling. Serial killer is a ghost, and chef's kiss. Anyway, really disappointed, and I really wanted to love this. That's life, I guess. Sometimes you really want something to be good, and it's just not. But I love ghosty, spooky stuff. So again, if you have any recommendations of a spooky ghost book, but yes, 1 star because Holly pissed me off. Like, I actually wanted to fight her. Like, if I could put my hand in a book and just slap someone, it would be her. Out of every book character I've ever read, she pissed me off the most. just like genuinely the most. And I've read a lot of books where main characters piss me off. But this, oh my God. And just like when you want it to be over, it still continues. I hated it so much. Maybe I'd give it like 0.5 stars. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Anyway, I don't recommend it. Don't do it to yourself. It had good bones. I wanted it to be so good. I wanted it to be good. And I'm so disappointed. And that's everything that I read and listened to in March and April. May be better. Hopefully, May will be a better month of reading. I do plan on getting into some of my TBRs that I actually already own. I will finish the Charlie Method. My camera overheated and turned off, so I went and took Harvey for a little walk. I also turned my aircon on to see if that will help with the overheating. So if you can hear that, I do apologize. But Harvey's also rolling around on the ground like a maniac. I want to hear what you're reading, recommendations, anything like that. Please let me know. Enjoy your days. See you next time. Bye.